Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Level Grinding. It is Drew here, joined once again by my good friend Robin. What's going on, my friend?
How much? Just another day grinding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, that's why we named it this. All we do is grind. Sometimes it's for fun. Kind of a relaxed episode today. Not a whole lot of controversy or big moves in either side of gaming really to discuss. So we're just going to kind of talk about the games that we've been playing and what we're looking forward to, stuff upcoming in our TTRPG lives. Have a little bit of a brief conversation about that. Are there any headlines in gaming, any big things to be on the lookout for that I have forgotten about?
Forspoken just dropped, but you'll be going over that later.
Yes, I will.
Other than that, Drew, what you playing?
Oh boy. So that's gonna be quite a conversation. So I've had big time game ADD this week. So I have been all over the place. First and foremost, where I started off this week was playing the Plague Tale series, Plague Tale Innocence, which I played all the way through, and then Plague Tale Requiem. So, and I'm going to touch on a whole bunch of stuff here back to back, one after another. And then when I am done with my week, I will let you get into your gush session. So Plague Tale Innocence the story concept is really good. I really, really enjoy what.
I think you're hearing things?
Yeah, I heard you say something. I'm sorry. So Plague Tale Innocence, really good story concept. So basically it's just a way enhanced take on the Black Plague in 14th century France. I like the characters. There's like a whole team of people that you get and interact with. Your main character is Amicia. As a character, she becomes incredibly likable. It's a wildly worst case situation. Like when I first started playing this, I was like, I know Plague Rats before. I played Dishonored. Dishonored has got nothing on these rats. There's a way bigger problem than Dishonored presented, and that was me and my hubris for being like, oh, I know rats before. I have a couple issues with Innocence that, in my experience, have been more or less dealt with in Requiem. So my problem with Innocence, right, is you get to your first boss fight, and you've got this guy in heavy plate who has decided, for whatever reason, right, like all of these games are like a collection of adults that are like, oh, I'm gonna kill this fucking 5-year-old and I'm gonna make him dead. It's fucking nuts. It's
kill him and make him dead.
Kill him and make. Well, look, they can't read. But
we'll send him to the Derek Zoolander school for kids who can't read good and want to learn to also do other stuff good too.
And the first game, it kind of like makes more sense at least, because at least like the dudes in the first game, they're being told that God wants these kids dead, which is not better, but at least it's like a reason.
Religion.
No religion, no Catholicism. I see you. But my biggest problem, right? And I discussed this with the friend who recommended the Plague Tale series to me, is that Amicia as a character, you get your first boss, he's covered in plate mail, and the game is like, this is how you dodge. So you just dodge around until you get an opening, and then you can attack with your sling and beat the bad guys, right? And that's great, cool, sweet, fantastic. The problem is, like, after that first boss fight, all the way up until the final boss fight, that dodge mechanic will never fucking help you again, ever. Amicia is one-hitter quittered by literally anyone who sees her in the game. If she is made out of wet toilet paper for the entire duration of this game. And the question that was posed to me when I complained about this initially, right, was like, well, do you think, like, all the guys are about your size? For those who don't know me, I'm about 6'9", 330. They're big fucking dudes in this. And he was like, I would like to hope that you could one-hitter quitter a 15-year-old girl. And I was like, could I one hit deal with a 15-year-old girl? Absolutely, yes. Could I fucking catch a 15-year-old girl? Probably not. Probably not. Could I catch a 15-year-old girl in regular clothing if I was in heavy plate mail with a 8-pound sword? Absolutely not. Under no circumstances would I be able to catch this child. No. And she, like, if an enemy comes within like 5 or 10 feet, it's so far away that if they get close enough, she just goes, no, and puts her hands up and gets chopped in half. It's so frustrating. That it's the most frustrating part of the game. And Hugo exists. So it's wild. The other mechanic.
You gotta get off my boy.
I am not getting off this fucking kid. He is, until the end of the game, he is a dumpster fire of uselessness. Like everybody else in the game. Lucas has a point. He can do stuff. Roderick's dope. He can do shit. Hugo, if you like go to like, I'm gonna leave you here, buddy. Stay here. I'll be right back. Don't be gone more than 30 seconds. Because he is a siren song to alert your enemies where he's at. And he gets murdered, even though the point of the game is to capture him alive. I'll absolutely not get off of Hugo. He became useful at the end as long as there is an adult with him. Now, what I will say, over the course of both of these games, Hugo is not the most useless character. The most useless character in a Plague Tale franchise is Beatrice de Rune. She's useless as shit. The whole first game, she Rukia Kuchki'd into a fucking prison cell and just needed to be rescued the whole game. And then the second game, she just defers to whatever loud, aggressive person with a penis is telling her what to do. And I hate that. Because like in the beginning of the first game, they like played her up and she was going to be like this fucking strong-willed, independent French woman. Absolutely not what happens. Now, Plague Tale Requiem fixed my problem with Amicia. Like Amicia gets 2 hits now, and they have to actually get within striking distance before you're just dead. So that's super helpful. They increased the utility of her sling by like a lot. Like you can deliver all of the stuff from Plague Tale 1 that you needed to throw by hand, you can deliver with the sling in Requiem. But you can also deliver everything, and they like made pots more useful than just a distraction item. All of your like the fire that you get, there's tar bombs, there's all kinds of stuff that you get. You can incorporate those with pots to like have splash effects on enemies as well. So that's a lot more cool. Yeah, Requiem was a definite step in the right direction. I liked Plague Tale Innocence despite all the shit I just talked about it. It was a really good game. It's a great story. And Requiem ups the fucking ante on the rats. Like the rats in Plague Tale Innocence were really bad. But in Requiem, they wholesale destroy a city. Like reduce it to nothing. Like buildings, it all means nothing. They absolutely, the stakes are way higher in Requiem than they are in Innocence, which is nuts. Because I got to a point, and I messaged you about it when I got to that point in Innocence, and I was like, hey man, what the fuck is happening right now? Like rats can't do this. Like I've heard of Sharknadoes, but Ratnadoes is not a shit I was prepared to deal with in any way. And then like in chapter 2 of Requiem, I'm like, oh, Ratnadoes are nothing. Cool. This is awful. This is the worst situation. I'm not quite done with Requiem yet. I'm about chapter 5 or 6 out of 17. So I'm in enough to like be able to detect the improvements that they made between 1 and 2. But I'm not done with the story yet. I will circle back to it at some point. And then when I had finished with, when I needed my break with Requiem, I went to Death Stranding. I had not played Death Stranding yet. So there's a couple things about Death Stranding. Number one, not a big fan of the balance mechanic. I like the general like gist of the game. But my whole thing is like as long as I hold L2 and R2, the balance mechanic doesn't mean anything. I just go a little bit slower. And then like once you get on a vehicle, balance mechanic doesn't mean anything. Which even on the reverse trike, the balance mechanic should kick in if it's going to be that important to the constant existence of gameplay. Is Hideo Kojima okay?
Yes, he's fine now.
have we checked in? Have we checked in on my man's mental health? Because the shit happening in the story of Death Stranding is wholesale bananas. The fuck?
I told you. Stop asking. He is okay.
No, I will not stop asking. I will fully not stop asking. I like Death Stranding. It's like it's like a perfect mix of like what the fuck is happening horror, but it's got the open world feel to it. It's not quite open world. I guess you get there. I'm not done with Death Stranding quite yet. I think I'm in chapter 5, 6, something like that. So yeah, I'm on my way. America's very tiny in Death Stranding. Like you start in like essentially Boston, and then you go. I think it's like 3,000 meters to like the next big spot that you have to add to the chiral network, and then on the U.S. map, that's like Akron. I'm like, oh shit, America got real small. And I know they had to like shrink it down for you can't legitimately traverse the entirety of America on foot, and I do get that. But it feels a whole lot smaller than the map would make it look. It's a great game. The voice acting is fantastic. Guillermo del Toro just popping up like, hey man, what's up? Like, oh, you're here. Okay. Why
Love
not?
Totoro-san.
I like Death Stranding in that, like, you know who the fuck are playing these characters. There's not a lot of question. Like, it's not Norman Reedus voicing
definitely
somebody.
Mads Mikkelsen.
It's definitely Mads Mikkelsen for sure. 1,000%. Yeah, Norman Reedus, Guillermo del Toro, Mads Mikkelsen. Everybody looks like themselves, and I'm here for it, 100%. Don't bullshit me that like actors like I don't want. Sometimes it works for Robin Williams to look like Genie, but sometimes I want Robin Williams to look like Sid from Final Fantasy VIII. Which, if you haven't played Final Fantasy VIII, looks like Robin Williams. I like when they like Infamous did that. I was a big fan of that, and I didn't know that they had done that actually until I was watching Dexter. And in the first season of Dexter, there's a guy who pretends to be the ice truck killer, and it's the actor who did the mocap and the face and the voice for Desmond in Infamous. And I'm like watching the show, I'm like, man, that guy's fucking familiar. Where do I know him from? Shit. And that was when I found out that they had done all that. But I love when games take the actor and just put him in the game. And then let me see. I've jumped all over this week. I played a little bit of. Let me see. Let me check my list I have up here. I played a little bit of Disney Dreamlight Valley, which for a farmer game is great. I have Harvestella installed, but I haven't really gotten started on it yet.
On the computer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. We already own it on the computer. I have money to buy it again yet.
That's fair.
I have Persona 3 and 4 installed. I promise you, my friend, I will get to them. My problem with P3 is it feels old, and it is. It is. I played it years and years ago, and eventually I'll like. Well, no, I played all of it. I just don't remember all of it because it was fucking years. It was over 10 years ago for sure. But right now, and up until last night, I was replaying Suikoden 3 as well. Getting myself ready for Konami to drop 1 and 2. 3 is one of the. I'm one of the very few that has a save file for Suikoden 2 completed for my PS2 memory card for my emulator, so I have access to like the full experience of Suikoden 3. So like whenever I want to get my Suikoden bite back, I always play 3 because it's a very rare experience to be able to play all of it. Up until midnight today, I have been on Forspoken since I woke up, and I'll be honest, man, I was prepared to not like it because like the demo, I was not a fan of like the gameplay. And I think the important factor that makes it different is that like the demo, as it should, gives you like a whole bunch of resources at one time. Like you have like 4 or 5 different spells to choose from. You already have the movement abilities and stuff unlocked. And the demo didn't really teach you how to utilize all that as well as the main game does. So it makes it much more playable. And I have seen people taking an absolute shit on the dialogue for this game, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. The dialogue for Forspoken is some of the most fun I've had in a game. They're talking about how like campy and cheesy it is. And I'm like, this is a New Yorker, a 21. She turns 21 in the beginning of the game. 21-year-old girl from New York interacting with like 11th century English dialogue. Like, I don't know what you guys expect, but this is a game where she doesn't understand what the fuck they're talking about. They don't understand what the fuck she's talking about. And the dialogue conveys that perfectly. I love that Square Enix did not pull back on the language. She talks like a New Yorker. I'll say that. She talks like a New Yorker. Everything is shit and fuck and everything. She says fuck in this game more than I heard in gaming in 2022. And I'm wholesale here for it. The character development so far is great. Another like thing that I really like about it. So I'm one of those guys that'll buy like the deluxe edition of a game for the DLC. And most of the time, as you well know, DLC gets outstripped by the things that you get in the game. It's there for like that first 10 minutes so that you can have the cool look, you get your special outfit or whatever. And then like if it's a statted item, like the accessories that we did the Butterfinger thing for in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which they were good for like the first 2 or 3 hours, and then they were outstripped by stuff you got later. I am over 9 hours into the game so far. And I'm still wearing my PlayStation DLC cloak, necklace, and fingernails because they're just still good enough that they're better than the other stuff that I have available. And that's so fucking refreshing to like have the thing that I've paid extra money for have like some longevity to it so that I can still have like a reason to put it on and use it. That's such a breath of fresh air. That does not happen. And I'm very excited about it. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely here for Forspoken. We'll see if I still feel that way as I get closer in. But I'm in chapter 4. I think there's 12 total chapters in the game. But I'm getting to the point now where each chapter is like 4, 5, 6 hours just because of like the traversal. So I'm looking at probably like a 40, 45 hour game. And those are getting to be rare. So I'm very excited about it, although I don't know why I expected less of Square Enix. They're fantastic. All right. I think that more or less did I talk about anything else I was playing this week at all?
You talked about everything you were playing.
Okay. I didn't know if I had mentioned something to you privately that I had forgotten to mention here. So I know the answer, but let's give you your chance to talk to our friends about it. What are you playing?
Okay, so I started this week. Well, last week technically in the middle, but I went back to playing Persona 3 and 4, and I'm a little disappointed for the remaster for Persona 3 because they chose to remaster P3P, which granted P3P has the female main character and she has her whole different social links and engagement and dialogue, so it's more story, but P3P lacks the answer, which is the whole second half of Persona 3's story. So like it's the incomplete version and everyone keeps touting it as the definitive version, and that bothers me to no end. So I just wanted to get up on my soapbox and angry old man yells at clouds.
Oh, okay. You're very good at angry old manning.
Yes. I am the source of anger.
Okay. Sure.
Grr, arg. But like then Persona 4, I played it only actually one night this week. I picked it up and mashed through the first 3 dungeons, and then I went upstairs and started playing Fire Emblem Engage, and oh my god, this game is incredible. I was worried at first because with the fact that Nintendo fired the original developer of the Fire Emblem games, and this is what we're working with now. I went in cautious, but it's
man, you were pretty excited. They were gonna have to fuck up real bad for you to not like this game.
You'll understand. This is cautious with how much I love it. You remember 3 Houses when it came out?
Oh, absolutely.
I was ready to fight most of our friends who were saying bad things. I'm like, I'll kill you in your sleep. But like right now, the sheer number of characters they throw at you, it's like 3 to 4, and even every chapter. And this latest chapter, they gave me 6 in one chapter. And then
what's the battlefield character limit?
That varies on the battlefield itself, but somewhere between 7 and 10, depending. And
Okay.
there are these things called emblems that are the spirits of heroes of other Fire Emblem games, and you can engage, which is where you synchronize with them, and some characters will actually visibly take on a new form, and they come out of the rings that are the central plot point of the game, but they're also for the DLCs, which we got the season pass version, so we have all the DLC. Well, we will have them as they release. Right now, there's one DLC, but it's a bracelet that gives you it's all in one, so you don't get like each of them separately, but the engage for that one is with Claude, Edelgard, and Dimitri from Three Houses,
That makes
as
sense.
well as there's another one for Tiki.
Tiki. Which one's she from?
She's from the game's Marthen. She's the Holy Dragon.
Oh, okay.
I currently have her with the one of the 2 people who are assigned to be your stewards, who are like teenagers. They're very dope, and their stats grow very well. So I've had them, and I have Tiki on the one of those 2 who is a mage, because she has things that boost HP, and I just wanted to make sure he had survivability. But when they engage, instead of having his weapons, he becomes a dragon.
Oh, of course.
He's just like, boom, I'm a dragon. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay.
Oh, not what I had planned, but okay.
The only downside I've seen is that when anyone merges with Tiki, they don't count as a flying character, so they can't go over things, even though this is a dragon that is clearly visibly flying.
Tactics Ogre does that too, and I find it very weird. All of the dragons are listed as agile, but they can't fly. Only the griffins can fly.
Griffins and
the wing dudes.
Yeah.
But I guess the closest thing I have to a problem with Fire Emblem is like persistent across the entire franchise. Is that like you just, and this is gonna sound hypocritical, right? Because I've been very blunt about my love for character collectors. But the thing that most character collectors are, they're like traditional JRPGs. So I can like swap my characters out and then go to like a random, I can just go grind on the field somewhere and get a feel for them. Fire Emblem doesn't often deviate from like the linear story. Like we're going map to map to tell the story. And that's fine. I like the way that they do it. But there's not typically a lot of chances to get to experience all the characters in a Fire Emblem. And I think that's kind of like a holdback.
That is not true for this one or any After Awakening.
Okay,
Like
I don't remember there being random stuff that you could go do in Three Houses.
Yeah, the paralogs, and then you could go out and just do a random map.
Okay.
But Awakening started adding the paralogs. Conquest did real good with it. In this one, you explore an actual world map and still go point to point, but like you'll have, depending on how much you've invested into an area, there's a higher chance for corrupted are the enemies in this other than the other army that you're fighting.
No, that's what's up. That's in Forspoken too.
And there's a higher chance for a golden corrupted that carries just 1,000 gold on it. And because money's still very hard to come by in this game, unless you choose not to invest heavily in the kingdoms, because each of them gives you, your first kingdom gives you 10,000, the second does 30,000, and the third one you get there gives you 40,000. And I've invested it all back into the kingdoms.
Yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention on Forspoken. There's no money in this game at all. Everything you do is crafting, and I know that's like one of your kinky bits. So everything
crafting.
Everything in this game is crafting. In fact, there's like one of the dialogue bits in Forspoken. She's like, "We got to get going. Time is money." And Cuff is like, "And money is useless enough." Yeah.
That when they're in that little, I want to say cabin, but it's not a cabin.
No, it pops up randomly in the combat. This one was in. They have these like temples that have like portals that you can go to, and it's like a super enemy filled area. And you go to the end, and there's like a piece of equipment or something. And I was in one of those. Yeah, it's really great. It's a very open world concept. Like once you get all your movement stuff to the point where you guys go wherever you need to go, pretty great.
That sounds great, and honestly, I can't wait until after we finish what we've got on deck for this weekend, so I can play it.
Yeah, and then once you finish Fire Emblem and go to Forspoken, then I can play Fire Emblem.
I need you to know I don't play this at all during work hours, and that's so hard.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm like, the Switch is right there. I could just play this, and I'm like, don't. You're just gonna get distracted.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get through Forspoken before I like deviate my attention anywhere else. I'm trying to get through it before the 10th because I have plans to have Hogwarts Legacy, especially now that we found out she's not getting royalties off of it on launch day, and I want to have this done so that I can devote my attention to that. I need Joy-Cons for my Switch so that I can just play Fire Emblem on that. That's what we need to do.
I don't even think that'll matter. I think your tracks are messed up too.
Well, so it's like one track is messed up. So like if I get Joy-Cons for it, once I start getting paychecks again, if I get Joy-Cons for it and I take it to like U-Break iFix, they'll fix that for like $15. Because I don't know where to buy the individual tracks at. Every time I try to buy the tracks, it comes like a whole kit, and when I get it, it's just the tools, it's not the tracks. So Andrew more or less got it taken care of. So if I could just get a set of Joy-Cons that doesn't feel mismatched in my hands, then I should be good. But I also want to take my PS3 and get that fixed so I can play White Knight Chronicles 2 because I fucking missed that game. Let me gush on that.
I wonder who got that for you.
You're right. It's in my PS3 right now. I like White Knight Chronicles 2 because it does the thing that most games I wish did. And I get why some of them don't, which is fine. But White Knight Chronicles 1 ended on like a super cliffhanger. So it was like a very Matrix Revolutions thing. You're like in the middle of the quest and the game's just over. And so to answer that, when White Knight Chronicles 2 came out, first of all, White Knight Chronicles 1 and 2 is essentially a high fantasy Power Rangers game where you just transform directly into your own private Megazord. So fucking play it. They're great. But White Knight Chronicles.
You understand that's just a mech.
Okay. You can bring mechs into any conversation that you want to, and it's not going to dissuade me because my problem with mech media is when the pilots don't have skills outside the mechs or when nothing happens outside of the mechs. That is my big problem with Gundam. From what I usually see with Gundam, anytime there's a problem, they're like, oh shit, we've got to get directly to our giant robots to deal with any and every situation. Whereas in like White Knight Chronicles 2 and 1, Power Rangers, all of the stuff that I like that are technically mechs, the mechs are utilized in like emergency situations, like last ditch only. Like you don't, in White Knight Chronicles 2, you don't roll up on a pack of dogs and you're like, whoop, Gundam time. That doesn't happen. You can, but you would just beat them normally. In Gundam, I don't see anything like that happen. That's my critique of mech animes for the most part. Like even in MS Saga, and I like the game, but it's all mobile suit fights. Like if we took the mobile suits away, the main characters would all get fucking wax-tastic because the people they're fighting are military and they're children. And that's when I'm like, I don't like mechs that much because the mechs become like the dependent thing. Where like in White Knight Chronicles 2 and in Power Rangers, repeatedly, they lose access to their super thing and they still go fight. So while I understand that the White Knights are mechs, but the point I was getting to is that because of the way that White Knight Chronicles 1 ended when they put out White Knight Chronicles 2, White Knight Chronicles 1 is in White Knight Chronicles 2. The entirety of the first game is just in the beginning of White Knight Chronicles 2. So you can get 2 and play both of the games back to back. And that's not nearly as common as it needs to be, in my opinion. especially if there's like huge gaps of time in between your sequels. Like, I'm super excited Suikoden 1 and 2 are coming out at the same time. I do hope that they fixed the McDole glitch in Suikoden 2, though. Because if I name my man Tyr, which is his canonic first name in Suikoden 1, and when I get him in Suikoden 2 with the load data, if his name is Tickdole, I'm going to throw a temper tantrum about it. Because it was a real easy fix that they could have applied. But on the other side of that coin, I will also be quite butthurt if they remove my Matilda gate problem. I'll be very upset about that because that's my shit.
Well, your need to gush and also to go back to Forspoken has cost me my whole train of thought for Fire Emblem.
I am super sorry. If you guys listening can't tell, I'm kind of a dick and I get real excited. You were talking about the need to grind and put money back into the kingdom.
Yeah, you can invest in the kingdoms, and that allows you to do things like adopt more animals. There's like farm animals you can adopt, and you get food ingredients from them. And I'm trying to give like some of the things that are cool without spoiling the game.
Fair.
Basically, if you have a favorite Fire Emblem, just know that your favorite Fire Emblem's main character is in this, because all of them seem to be in it so far.
I don't think my favorite Fire Emblem character will be in there.
Ooh.
I could be wrong. The strategist
no.
Three Houses.
Yeah, Byleth, yeah, you're in it.
Oh, is he? Cool. Never mind. Critique redacted.
He's the instructor. He himself is not busted. Engaging with him and having people around you means that everyone around you gets 1.5 times experience.
Ooh, that is busted though.
It's just that he's not busted. He makes everyone around him busted.
That's what's up.
And I'm not sure if that stacks with the other experience bonus skills, but I have one with the guy who's with Tiki where he gets a 50% bonus as well. So if that stacks, then that'll either, if it's multiplicative, it'll be 2.25 times experience. If it's just stacks, it'll be 2 times experience.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and they have a class in here called the Wolf Knight. You have to be a cavalier, either a lance cavalier, spear, either a lance, an axe, or sword cavalier, and you have to somehow through one of your engages gain the proficiency in knives, and then you can change their class over to that. I actually took one of the lord characters you get, got him up to level 15 as a lord, as a noble, sorry, and then I took him back to level 1 and made him a lance cavalier, and the stats carry over, so like he's super busted right now, but he's leveling slow and I need him to reach 10 so I can make him a wolf knight, because I already have the canonical one that you get, but I'm making him one too.
That's what's up.
One of the guys, whenever anyone engages with Sigurd, who's character from I think Thracia, but whenever
it's from Thracia. It's he's from the same game as Lynn.
No, he's not. You get Lynn as well. She's from a different game. She's from Sacred Stones.
Okay,
there is a character named Sigurd, but he's an old man.
Well, no, in Sacred Stones, Sigurd is like a red-headed knight.
Oh yeah, this one is a blue-haired knight.
Yeah, there's one I might be thinking of the wrong one, because there's a pair of knights that you get in Sacred Stones. They're like the first characters to join her. One of them's name is Sigurd. There's one with red hair, one with blue hair.
Yeah, you get Lynn, and she starts out as an archer.
It's a choice.
Like, when you get her engaged maxed out, she gets the Manikati sword.
Yeah,
and I put her on my archer because my archer's already using bows, and her bow's a more powerful thing. So while they're engaged, she can use that. And then once it gets high enough on her link, I'll have a melee option as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they ramped the tactics up, but they seem to have given you the high number of characters in case you want to play on like classic mode, where they just stay dead.
Fuck that. Ugh.
Like,
I would never.
Here's hundreds of characters, and I'm like, cool. These are my friends.
Yeah, like, wow. No.
Anyone who is synced with Ike will say his fucking "I fight for my friends."
Right. Oh God. Oh, Ike.
You get Ike when you get to the desert place. You get Ike and Byleth both from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the prince and princess of every kingdom except for the snow one. It has 2 princesses, but I have them as well. And almost everybody gets. I've given whatever ring they came with. I let them keep because I just want to see how that plays out. But some of them, I'm like, I'm not going to use you, so we're taking this ring.
What's up?
And the enemies get the rings too.
Oh, I hate that, but it's fair, I guess.
At a big turning point, the enemies get all of your rings. And they can't take the DLC ones though, so it just takes all the storyline ones. And I was real big mad because I was enjoying the characters I had, and then they took them, and I'm like, okay.
And stop.
Then they turned them against me, and your character's even like, because the first one you get is Marth,
Mm-hmm.
and Marth's like attacking you, and your character's like, Marth, why? And they're just like, the darkness of the fell dragon has burnt out everything in them. He's no longer the Marth you knew. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get him back. My friend is coming back.
Get up.
And then yeah, that's what I've been playing, and looking forward to getting on Forspoken. But aside from that, we're drawing up on the release of the new Atelier game, and I'm super psyched for that.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah,
I'm hoping I can get myself to get into the Atelier games because I don't move real well on no English dub on games if I can avoid it.
which is sometimes so weird because you're usually occupying yourself with 7 other sound producers, so you could just mute the game even be good.
I like it's as somebody like I want to be a voice actor, so it feels disrespectful to like mute the voice actors even if I don't like the language. That's not a fair analysis. It's not that I don't like the language, it's that I don't understand it. So it's distracting to me to hear it. That's what frustrates me about like people who don't speak Japanese, who like give me shit, and they're like, "Yo, Japanese dubs are better." I'm like, you don't, like, you personally don't know that because you don't speak the language, you don't understand the tonality, you don't understand the idiosyncrasies, you don't know the dialects that are happening. You cannot tell me that Japanese voiceovers are better if you don't speak Japanese. If you speak Japanese, I'm not talking to you in this conversation.
I figured.
But
it'd be a real weird hill to choose to die on.
Right. Well, like lots of motherfuckers would be like, Japanese voices are better. I'm like, oh yeah? Turn the subs off and tell me what he's saying. Because if you can't do that, you can't tell me the Japanese voices are better because you don't know. You don't speak the language.
So there's a game that's going on my hidden jewels list, that hidden gems, that's the phrase. It's called A Space for the Unbound. And I've played a little bit of it and I really fucking love it. It's you're in an Indonesian town that I can't remember the name of in the 1990s, figuring out secrets and stuff. And you get like superpowers that let you dive into people's hearts. And there are cats. I'm eager to show Andrew because you can pet every cat you come across.
That's what's up. That does remind me, just to give people some more info on it. I'm so sorry to keep bringing it up. But Forspoken is heavily cat influenced, heavily cat featured. There's a segment in the beginning where like you have to make a pivotal move that is cat related, and then when you get to Athia, there's fucking cats everywhere. I texted Andrew, that's our roommate. He is very, very pro cat. I texted him today and I was like, I don't know if you had planned on checking this game out, but just to kind of let you know, I'm in chapter 4 and legitimately 75% of my side quests completed were go find cats. Cats are everywhere in this game and it's fantastic. I do, huh?
I'll go ahead with what you're saying first.
I was saying I enjoy the shit out of any time cats pop up.
We are 2 days away from the release of the first Midnight Suns DLC, and I still haven't picked that up.
Yeah.
This one is the good, the bad, and the undead. But Walian came out today. I haven't had a chance to sit down with it, but I'm pretty excited about that one too.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's not your kind of game, so I wouldn't expect you to have. It's a platformer type game. It's
Mm.
set in space where you push and pull objects to get around inside of a giant mechanical space whale. And also, strong puns. Your main character's name is Ernest Hemingway.
God damn it. All right. All right, fine.
And next week, Inkulanati comes out. And assuming everything lines up for me, I'm going to pick that up so we can have a playthrough it.
Okay.
It's a living ink game. Like, it's an ink-based strategy game straight from medieval manuscripts. So there's like the bunnies that breathe fire and giant snails and stuff. I heard you, but that did not pick up on the microphone.
I said, okay.
I heard, whoop, and the mic was like, nah, none of that. But there's another one that's coming out. I'm trying to remember the name. It's like We'll Be Here Forever or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a first-person cooperative adventure. It's your people who are trapped in a medieval castle, and you're trying to get. Oh, it's part of the We Were Here series, so it's We Were Here Forever.
Oh, okay.
I'm like babble. Oh, this. Not that I care about it, but a lot of people are very excited. Also next Tuesday, SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake comes out.
Okay. I don't know, man. Like, it's wild that SpongeBob is still going.
SpongeBob has 4 spin-off series.
I say that as a Power Rangers fan, but
including
wild
its own version of Muppet Babies, where they play children at camp.
Sure. Okay. If there's not a frontier SpongeBob won't touch, so that checks out.
This is the first year where there's nothing releasing on my birthday. They're releasing literally 4 days before and 2 days after. My birthday's just in the middle, like, huh. There's a sequel for Job Simulator or an updated version for PSVR 2 coming sometime next month. Jason's real excited about that.
There's a, what is it now?
Job Simulator.
That's what we do. We are. All right, Jason.
What?
All right. We just go to work. Just go do a job.
Okay, so the plot of Job Simulator is you're in the far-flung future and there's only robots around, and somehow you're there as a human, and they're like trying to have you show them how work works, and then they're attempting to run like a business office, and they give you just this flat disc with nothing on it, and you have to put it into the TV to turn it on.
All right.
Yeah, okay. It's wild. It is not the most wild thing coming out though. Coming to PC and Switch, I think. Don't quote me on the Switch, people. But Fashion Police Squad. No, it's coming to Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. It's a just goofy, like first-person shooter. It's a retro style FPS, but it looks kind of funny. Atomic Heart's coming out next month. I'm real excited about that. I'm trying to find. There is a game that I know you would love, but I cannot remember the name of it. I know we talked about Theatrhythm Final Bar Line. That's the Final Fantasy game.
Oh, the Final Fantasy rhythm game?
Yeah. And Death in the Water 2 is coming out.
I'm not sure where Death in the Water is.
It sure is a game.
Oh,
it's Death in the Water 2, what it's adding to like the mix is that it has just a bunch of procedurally animated creatures, like real and fantasy based, and they navigate through the world reacting in the way that they would react to the environment as they hunt you down, and you're in the ocean and on land trying to survive, basically.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. It's one of those, time now for the anxiety I can control.
Oh my God. Like, help me understand why you would ever choose anxiety. Like, if anxiety is a problem, you're like, ooh, self-induced anxiety. Like, even if you can control it, why do it?
Look, I don't control the crazy ideas. I just act on them.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question.
Oh no, I'm saying that I don't know.
Oh,
like it just happens.
Like, what cracks me up about it, right? What makes it so funny is that like all of the people I know that like super intense horror jump scare games are all of the people whose anxiety is so bad they cannot meet a stranger in public. Like those are the
You meet
exact
strangers
same
in
people.
public.
No, you don't go into public.
But if I do, I can.
You
I can
can,
do it.
but there's people like I love him to death. Lou can't talk to people. I love Lou to pieces, but Lou frequently falls apart, and I hope for nothing but the end of that for them. But like Lou is the person I picture when I'm like, why do you play horror games? I don't understand. Like I am a ball of anxiety. What if I gave myself anxiety? And I'm like, but you're already anxiety. I don't.
Oh, and we're almost to March. It's it's over a month away, but it's literally less than 2 months until we get Trails to Azure, which is the next part of the Trail series from Trails from Zero,
Mm-hmm.
that's the Crossbell arc. So at that point, we will have everything that's in the main series that's out in America. We will own, and you'll be able to play.
That's what's up. Very excited about that. March also appears to be the release of Suikoden 1 and 2. There's a company in France that you can pre-order them now, and they release on March 9th in France. So that's exciting for me because America usually gets releases before the EU does. So if it's
I
releasing
believe
on
they're
March,
doing global release.
I mean, if we get it early, dope. If we don't get it early, fine. March 9th is
That's
fine.
been the new thing, is global releases, so everybody gets to play at the same time. But also in March 17th is Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
I have to play Fallen Order. I have to.
Well, it's right there on the system.
I downloaded it the other day to play it. I was gonna do that while I was on my game ADD, and then I got pulled into Plague Tale and Death Stranding.
And all those PC people can finally play The Last of Us starting March 3rd.
Is it frustrating, PC people? Talk all that garbage about how much better you are than consoles, and then get games like 9 years after they were released.
Hey, don't talk about the PC plaster case like that.
I love so much when I'm in a conversation about platforms and somebody's like, hashtag PC Master Race. And I get to come behind them and be like, who else? Man, who else called themselves Master Race? It's so familiar. Hang on. Right on the tip of my tongue. Fuck. Do you know who else said they were Master
I did
Race?
not see that coming.
They always get real silent after I bring that up. Like real quiet.
Meet Your Maker is coming out this year. I don't know when, but it's one that I'm eager to show off to Andrew. It's a post-apocalyptic first-person building and raiding game where every level is designed by the players. That's him. Like wholly and 100%. That's Andrew.
I mean, sure, for sure, but like, I don't trust people, man. Like the internet has shown me that people are the worst creatures, and I don't trust them for anything. Man, like there will be a couple people that I'd be like, oh, I'd love to play a level by this person, but people as a whole, by and large, I'm like, Mario Maker is great for teaching me that people are cruel and evil. Like I don't play Mario Maker, but I watch people play Mario Maker, and holy shit.
I need you to play Dream or Little Big Planet, because those are also, they'll show you the opposite, that people can be beautiful.
I mean, sometimes levels are great. I played the shit out of Little Big Planet, and I have accidentally rolled up onto levels that were made to kill my inner child.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's because your inner child is 972,625 years old.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So, there's a game that got my hopes up, but I just had read. It's called Alta Earbreaker.
Okay.
You know, like the main character of the first Assassin's Creed.
No, I'll tell you. Yeah.
But it is not that. It's you enter the world of Altair and fight against the army of something called Laws. It's all in caps. It's a multiplayer transcendent sword fighting game for the PSVR and for Steam and stuff. But it's coming out in February for the PSVR too.
Okay. February to like March is going to be a real wild.
Yeah, February has the most, but March is hitting hard, and then Oh, in April, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection comes out for
What?
PC, PS4, and Switch.
Oh baby, guess where money's going? I fucking love Mega Man Battle Network. I like Mega
And,
Man Battle Network more than Mega Man or Mega Man Zero.
Wow.
It's I like RPGs, and that's a
Close to an RPG.
It's as close to an RPG as Mega Man will ever be, aside from
Man Mission.
Mission. Yeah,
The Mega Man RPG.
That we'll never get again, even though it was probably one of the best Mega Man releases of the franchise.
And in May 12th, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom comes out. July 25th is when Hogwarts Legacy drops for the Switch.
Oh, I could. You guys who are Nintendo fans, bless your hearts. You're so loyal, because holy shit, that's such a commonality that I've noticed, that like games will come out and then like 6 months later they'll finally come out on Switch. And for you guys who just play Switch and just live for Switch, bless you and the spoilers you have to deal with for games. Now, there is a bonus for sure. Like when we get stuff on launch day, if I get stuck on a thing, I'm just stuck on it for a couple days until people start posting videos. Like, at least with the Switch player, when they get a game, it's been out for most of a year, so they can jump on their videos and get right through stuff. But I cannot imagine like being excited for a game and having to listen to my friends play it for 6 months before I can get my hands on it.
It's only 4 months this time.
That's better than normal, but
and even your ex is gonna have to wait 2 months of you playing it.
Oh, I'm gonna talk Madge. I'm gonna spoil the whole game for her too. She shouldn't have broke up with me.
This shit. I love you. Just straight up. That's toxic. I love
learn your lesson.
But also, I don't think I already said Octopath Traveler 2 comes out in February.
I'm excited about that. I have one on the PC. I have to finish it.
You have won my copy somewhere.
Yeah, but I
think
can
it's here.
Play it on PC. It's a Game Pass game, so my Xbox.
That's odd.
Why?
Not for Xbox, for PC. Okay.
Oh no, it's Game Pass on Xbox as well. I'm not sure how many games are just for PC Game Pass, but I have like Ultimate, so I can get it on like Xbox. But yeah, it was on Xbox. I almost played it the day I picked up Chained Echoes.
We have it in the house and have for a long time.
Right, but we couldn't find your Switch, and mine is currently unplayable.
That's fair. And one of the big drawbacks of the original one is that the party members didn't really mean shit to each other's quests. Everyone was just like, "Well, we've done my part. I'm gonna fuck off now."
Well, it's not even like I'm gonna fuck off. Like, I'm here, I guess.
Yeah, but characters will have quests that overlap and stuff, and they said that they would be major parts of each other's quests.
That's what's up.
I need you to know your cat came into my room, stepped on my phone, and somehow turned airplane mode on and then left.
Because she's a cunt.
I looked at my phone and it's like airplane mode on. I'm like, what?
Funny story, guys. I have 2 cats. I don't even know which one he's talking about, but it checks out for either one of them because they're both assholes. They're both assholes.
I'm so glad that Andrew realized that the neighbors were knocking when he opened the door, because I would just love to live in a world where he thought Anastasia knocked on the door.
Oh my god!
Boom, 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 boom. Damn cat
that would have
been
the door. That would have been hilarious. That would have. Yeah, our neighbor brought my cat back today. And before you guys get mad, like, oh my god, he lets his cat out? No, he doesn't.
It's just Wiley.
Our cat is like, I'm going out the door, and there's not a whole lot that you can do to stop me, you big slow man. It was like I was talking earlier about how I cannot catch a 15-year-old girl. I can't catch a cat either. I'm big and I'm slow. So if she wants to go outside, she's going outside. There's not a whole lot that I can really do to put a stop to that. But yeah, the neighbor brought her back today and was like, I caught her. Yep, I appreciate you. But yeah, I didn't hear her knock. So I have my window open because it's super hot in my room. And I just hear this voice like, are you there? Hello? I'm like, oh, let me go deal with that. And then by the time I got down there, our roommate was already there. But
Like,
you know,
hello, person.
yeah, he's not a people person, so I can only imagine how that conversation kicked off. Oh man, I'm real excited for February. There's like a lot happening. This year is going to be good for games. We got February and March; those are chock full. For me, April's Power Rangers, baby, once and always.
I like how you said for me, like I'm not also super into it.
What
and
years?
Also, what?
Oh, I'm into Power Rangers like you're into Atelier. Like there are levels.
Yeah.
Where like I am rewatching all of Power Rangers because I'm into Power Rangers.
I mean, not recently now, it's been like 3 years, but I also rewatched it and was paid to do so.
See, that's a different situation. I'm watching it for the love of the game. I'm not doing it for a paycheck.
Oh, I didn't know I was going to be paid. It was quite a pleasing surprise. They were like, here's some money. And I'm like, what?
I like money. Cock, or whatever. Yeah, so April 19th, Power Rangers Once and Always. We'll finally get our answers on the Green Ranger. I hope it's JJ. If it's not, I more than anything, I hope it's JDF, and this is all just like a long-standing surprise for the fans. If that's not what it's going to be, I hope they do the JJ character. JJ is his son from the comic books, who gets the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger powers by using the last charge in the Master Morpher. So within the comic book continuity, there is existence for JJ to have the Green Ranger powers, and JJ exists in the show continuity because Tommy talked to him off camera in the last episode he was in.
Okay, but hear me out.
It's not Adam?
I've decided it's Adam.
Why? Why does everybody like the only correlation for it to be Adam was like, well, Adam was a green Zeo Ranger, he could be a green Mighty Morphin Ranger. Like, no.
Yeah.
No, that's not how their powers have ever worked. We can fake it. Like we can pretend that Zordon didn't lay like an entire thing out that it has to be like biologically linked to you for you to have those powers. And that's why the transfer of power was such a big deal. We can pretend if you really just want it to be Adam, but it's fully not going to be Adam.
No, I'm sorry. What's the biological link between Trini and Aisha?
They went through the transfer of power. Like they specifically transferred the power.
And that could have happened off screen. Look, if it's Adam, I won't be surprised. If it's not, I won't be disappointed.
It would be so stupid for it to be Adam. That decision would make no sense.
But anyway, enough of this arguing about something not even related to the podcast.
Okay. The podcast is about whatever we want to talk about. They're Power Ranger games. That's the core. That's what it's been this whole time. Do you think that there might be like a cross section of Power Ranger fans and video game fans that might be interested in a Power Rangers conversation?
Impossible.
Absolutely zero.
But yeah, April is they're gonna have the Mega Man Battle Network game. Okay. Burning Shores DLC for whenever you get back to playing Horizon Forbidden West.
Eventually.
Yeah, 10 Hearts is coming out. That's one that it's okay. I'm going to tell you the first sentence because I wrote notes, but I'm not reading the notes because we've heard feedback that a lot of you can tell when I'm just reading something.
Right. Fair.
From members of the team that brought you Fable comes 10 Hearts, an immersive puzzle adventure game wrapped in a powerful tale of love and compromise.
Oh, fucking fine. I really love
Fable. Ad Infinitum, which I'm not going to play, but I know quite a few of my streaming friends are going to. It's got a trigger warning on it that this contains extreme violence, monsters, gore, and blood. It's a psychological horror game set in the First World War.
Okay.
I was like, oh, all right, that's going to be horrifying. Dead Island 2 is finally coming out. Like, I always thought Riptide was Dead Island 2, so I was pretty fucking surprised when they're like, Dead Island 2 is finally coming out. I'm like, didn't it?
Turns out no.
And there's After Image, which is an RPG that lets you explore places, and it sounds pretty fun. It's coming also in April. Then May has Legend of Zelda, Age of Wonders 4. Oh, there's one you might be interested in.
Oh,
WrestleQuest.
No, what?
WrestleQuest. It's RPG. My only notes on it. You in this game, you power bomb and pile drive your way through a massive pixel art universe where professional wrestling and RPG fantasy combine.
Okay.
Like
Ooh.
for their logo, they have combined Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan, and also Bret Hart for the sunglasses part. Hang on, I'm gonna shoot you this. All right, I shot that over to you.
What is this, 16-bit?
It says it's pixel art, so yes, it's 16-bit. I'm looking at actual game.
Fully Randy. That's just Randy Savage.
Not with those glasses though. Those are Bret the Hitman Hart's glasses.
No, Randy had glasses like that as well, where it was the just solid thing with the bridge.
I'm meaning the purple and everything.
Well,
it's like it's Bret the Hitman Hart's purple pink sunglasses.
Well, Randy did a lot of purple and pink too, because he did like a lot of purples and pinks and yellows and tassels and shit like that. He didn't do pink and black. He did like greens and yellows and pinks and purples. And then when he did NWO, he went black and white.
Randy Savage is in it by name. There's actually quite a few of legends, icons, whatever you want to call them.
That's what's
wrestling.
I'm waiting for now that we're tangentially to wrestling. I'm excited to hear more about this WWE RPG, assuming that the company lives long enough to make it.
You know what you should be excited about?
Uh-huh.
The fact that the AEW game is ready. It's just being tied up with the ESRB right now because boy is it violent.
I mean,
one of the images that they've released of it, like they're literally dragging someone through a pile of glass and there's blood and bits of face flying everywhere.
Yeah. Have you watched AEW?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying it's
fully tracks.
That puts us up to May, which May has the Zelda game and Endless Dungeon.
I'm looking on the website right now. They still have it currently listed for February.
They have what list? I'm going through the order of things we were looking at.
On AEW Fight Forever's official website.
Yeah.
AEW
I wasn't
THQ
saying it was being released. I was saying that was a tangential thing.
Oh, okay.
You took it tangential and I was bringing it back.
Well, best of luck to you.
You're like herding cats, but you're just one.
Have you seen how big I am? I'm clearly a fucking Congress of Cats or whatever the group is. Pride. I'm a Pride.
The RoboCop game dropping in June, and Diablo 4, Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy. Everything that's currently listed as releasing in June, I'm gonna get. So June that's a month. Oh boy.
We'll get money together for it. It'll be fine.
And then July 7th. I don't even have to get there yet. July 7th, The Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie. That is the thing that's tying together the Crossbell arcs, the Liberal arc, and the Harvonian arc. I'm sorry. I get passionate about those games.
No, I had no idea.
There are a bunch of games that are no confirmed date, just they say early or late. There are so many in here. They're making a new Zero Wing game for PC.
Okay. I don't think I ever played Zero Wing.
Zero Wing was an old side-scrolling shooter arcade game, where you're a spaceship.
Okay.
So it was wild that they're making a new one.
I mean, if you have the IP, use it. You hear me, Konami? If you have the IP, use it.
You hear me, Capcom? If you have the IP, use it.
Oh, Capcom, Konami are fucking terrible for that shit. They just sit on fantastic IPs and not make money off of them.
Yeah, I'm slowly turning you on to Breath of Fire because I keep telling you to play it.
I'm sure I'll get there.
It is an RPG where you play as a character who turns into dragons because you're of a bloodline of dragons. And in Breath of Fire 3, you can combine the genetics of dragons because you receive genes just throughout the game to make you transform into whatever you want to turn into.
No, I have 1 and 3 with PS Plus. It's just a matter of PlayStation Plus Premium has Breath of Fire and Breath of Fire 3.
It might have 3 and 4. 1 is for Super Nintendo and only Super Nintendo.
It was re-released. You know what? I'm gonna level with you. I'm thinking of Wild Arms.
Yeah, I figured you were. I'm like, no. Granted, Breath of Fire 3 was re-released on the PSP, but it's still not available on the PlayStation Store. They did, however, say that it was headed. Oh, that's 7 years ago. They were talking about the
Breath of
re-release.
Fire was re-released on PSP.
Breath of
First
Fire
one.
3 was.
No, the first one. I'm looking at it right now. Platform: Super Nintendo, PlayStation, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 2, Microsoft Windows, PlayStation Portable, Android, iOS.
I think that's just the whole series. You're looking at the Wikipedia thing that's talking about, because it says Breath of Fire is a role-playing video game series. That's telling you every platform that a Breath of Fire game released on.
Okay.
Like, they gave us up to 6 that released on Windows and Android, and I think it was an MMO. Yeah, it was the MMO, and a free-to-play web-based MMO that didn't come to America.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Dragon Quarter didn't do super well, but it was all the other Breath of Fire games give you the ability to turn into dragons. Like, that's a reward thing. It's your power. Like, it's what makes you you. In Dragon Quarter, there's a thing called a D level or D%, something like that. That's you're slowly being corrupted and transforming into a dragon, and anytime you use any of your dragon powers, that escalates. And when it hits 100, it's game over.
That's dumb.
Yeah. Ooh. But yeah, I'm just waiting on
So we've shot out my attempts to switch gears to TTRPGs. So we'll just murder the segue here.
I didn't know you made an attempt.
Yeah, I was talking about the WWE TTRPG that they're supposed to be
You didn't
making.
include TT. You just said RPG.
That's the only RPG they're interested in, is the TTRPG. They've got their own niche in video gaming, so they're not going to switch over to RPGs that way. That would be amazing. I would spend. That's the only way WWE probably will ever get my money again, is if they make role-playing games. I'll play the shit out of those. But no, so we're getting ready to start the Suikoden game. Well, we're prepping the Suikoden game, I guess, is more correct. I am not sure.
My passing comment became a commitment.
I asked you about it, and you said yes.
Yeah, I'm more than willing to play. It's just like, I'm very happy. I need you guys all to know that. I love running the games and everything. It's just the moment I said that, as soon as we finished, he was like, "So about the Suikoden game?"
Bruh, I don't get
and I was
play.
like, "Yeah."
That's my anytime somebody dangles the opportunity to be a player in front of me, I'm gonna bite, because I almost never get to play.
There have been so many times we were going to, but you wanted to add extra people and they decided not to show up, so we never played.
So the problem is with playing just the three of us, it's just gonna be the three of us sitting in a room.
You and Andrew need a leader PC.
It's not even that. I just need somebody else to bounce off of. And I love Andrew to death. But a lot of, like, if I attempt to bounce off of him, it's a yeses and nos. I'll be like, should we go do this? And he's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. And finding like a dynamic that works for a 3-person table is already like pretty difficult. So like at least 3 PCs, 3 to 4 is typically what gets conversation flowing.
So about the guy who wanted to know what you do in Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Some other people who were at that party are messaging and just being like, "I weep for his 2 remaining brain cells." Okay, so for our listeners, here's a fun little adventure.
Yeah, this is our Thanksgiving story.
Yeah, my essentially big brother, the CEO of Nexus Gaming Alliance and one of my best friends since I was a wee lad, Jason, was having a Friendsgiving, and he's currently hosting a foreign exchange student from Georgia, the country, not the state. And we've told her to let people know that it's the country, not the state, because over here they'll just, like, she has a Georgian accent, and they'll be like, "Why do you talk like that?" And if she just said, "I'm from Georgia," that would just leave people with even more question marks.
I don't know, man. Like, some people would just be like, oh, okay.
But she was sitting there, and like, she's 17 and very patient, very skilled. She's a musician, an artist, a painter. Like, this girl's resume reads like mine did at that age, but she still has so much potential. But we're sitting there getting ready to eat, and one of Jason's niece brought her boyfriend, and he's sitting there talking to her, trying to get to know her. And he's like, "So where are you from?" And she's like, "Georgia." And he goes, "Oh, cool. What do you do in Georgia? Do you like go outside or
Georgia? Do you go outside or? And that was the end of his question.
Yeah.
He didn't have
Do you go
any follow up
outside or
until she answered.
and she was the patience of a saint.
Oh my god! It
And
was.
I'm
I was
just
like,
dying.
I'm like 10 feet
inside.
away. Like, did he say that out loud? Like, is he serious right now? What's happening? Who is this person? Do you go outside? I'm fucking dead, bro.
Then
And for
later
the
we're
record,
playing
it didn't get better.
yeah, later we're playing card games and I've just realized from just everything he's been saying that this dude, him and someone else share a brain cell and the other guy overtaxed it for the last week if he got it back at all.
Other dude was at work with the brain cell for sure.
He's just sitting there, just at one point he's like, "Hey dude, I need your card," and we had a discard pile, so I hand him the entire discard pile and he's like, "Thanks man, this seems like a lot, are you sure?"
It was.
And that was when everyone realized I had been trolling him. I know like a couple of you noticed, but that's when everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, like just
I'm a bully now.
I don't like making fun of people, but like it was wild. I was like, how is this really happening in real life? Like what?
I was just dead inside. And then today, apparently, independently of me remembering, other people from the party were also remembering because I made a post about it and they were like, "We're just today."
Yeah, how could you not talk about that guy? Like it was, and he seems like a really sweet dude to like to Jason's niece.
Yeah, Lily's happy with him, and I've even messaged her. I'm like, "Is he always that stupid?" And she goes, "He's very kind. He loves me, and he treats me good." I'm like, "That's all I care about."
And that is
She
all that
dodged
matters.
The question.
But also, that's a yes. She dodged the question. She answered backwards. She was like, "I'm not gonna out him in front of everybody," but fully.
No, I messaged
absolutely.
her like a couple weeks after.
No, I understand. Not answering is a yes. She's not going to she's not going to admit to you that yes, he's that stupid all the time, but that's a yes all day long. Like, is this person always that dumb? He's very kind. Very loud.
You're like,
non-answer.
I feel so bad because I've never bullied someone.
Everybody has bullied someone at some point.
Yeah, I apparently bullied that guy.
You have told me about just punching people. Just to punch people.
Wasn't bullying.
That's not bullying.
That was love violence.
That is bullying. It is the same concept as like when a boy likes a girl and doesn't know how to express it, so he yanks her hair. That's still bullying.
Oh no, I knew how to express it. I just sometimes you gotta punch someone.
That makes it bullying. Like, if you know the difference and still choose violence, that is what bullying means. That's fine. That's how a good portion of friendships work. But don't act like my man's the first time you've ever done some mean shit to a person.
First time I can recall actively just my motivation being time to fuck with this guy.
Oh, you fuck with me all the time. What do you mean?
I was just about to say that wasn't somebody who earned it and started it all.
I don't always start it.
No, you've started it in the past. It's still going.
That fully tracks for me, honestly.
Like every time one of us is about to just let everything fade away, we're like, what if we just trolled them slightly?
I'm never gonna let shit fade away. That's the opposite of who I am as a person.
Oh, the other day when I told you that I was just gonna find a way to see the Power Rangers early just so I could see it before you did.
Yeah, I'm like best
I'll see it first, and you're like,
fully best of luck.
You're like, well, I'll just get there. I'll just watch it at midnight as soon as it drops. And I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about seeing if I can call in any favors. If I get an early link, for sure I'm sharing.
That would be
just gonna be like
incredibly petty.
Like you come in, I'm like, hey, did you see? You're like, that's not for a few days. No, check your Facebook because I would have inboxed it. But yeah, tabletop games. I'm gonna be running the Suikoden game. Even though Drew's supposed to be running the Power Rangers game. I only get to play when Drew runs, and Drew only gets to play when I run.
Yeah, so we gotta find a balance there. I would like, depending on like,
so that they can run and we can both play.
Oh, I don't know anybody else who runs. It's just us. All the other people that we tangentially know are too busy or I don't actually know them.
And everyone listening, if you want to donate to our Patreon so I can get chicken tenders, I decided to drop our Patreon in there.
Well, we drop it in at the end of the episode every time. So
I know, but
he really wants chicken nuggets, guys. I don't know what to say.
no chicken tenders.
Are you really? We have enough money to be specific about the difference?
No, but if I'm dreaming big. I'm gonna get a new shirt and pants and a hat to go with it. I have to be specific because my fantasy is that vivid.
What are you talking about? In what universe do chicken tenders come with pants and shirts?
We're gonna get the money, and then I'll get new pants and a shirt and a hat to go with it.
I thought you wanted chicken tenders.
You both want food and clothing, Drew. I'm being really wild with my wants, okay?
You got to stop being so bougie. You're about to be the 1% keeping us up.
Your cat has just climbed into my window,
Well,
stuck her head out this side of the curtain, and looked alarmed that she was back in here. Like, what?
My cat is an idiot. That has to be Ronnie. Ronnie is an idiot. She is.
When Anastasia gets in the window, she's like, "This is where I sleep."
Ronnie is such a pile of dumb. It is absolutely insane. But yeah, so the other thing that we haven't followed up on yet that we were talking about after the show last week is, so when we were mentioning the Power Rangers game, it's actually cross promotional. Where
I mentioned it when he was going over.
You sent it to me in Messenger and didn't. There wasn't a comment that was made. It wasn't on the show. It was sent privately.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it until after we were done recording. So Power Rangers is part of Essence 20. So it is usable with the, and I'm remiss to name one of these, but I'll do it because that's my job. It is cross-compatible with the G.I. Joe RPG, the Transformers RPG, and the fucking My Little Pony RPG. So you can absolutely build a My Little Pony that's a Power Ranger. If you do that, please don't tell me about it. I don't want to know. But I'm very excited if that is your thing. But it is very cool that we have like four different systems, I guess, that are like fully cross promotional with each other, where you can just take one character out of one and plug it into the other, and it works perfectly. I'm going to be doing everything in my power to keep horses out of my Power Rangers game. But if you guys want to build a G.I. Joe that fits, that's fine. But yeah, I'm excited about. I have my general story for the Power Rangers game and what I kind of want to do. My biggest issue, right, is I don't have a physical book for it, and I'm one of those people that like I need a physical book to be able to like flip through and hold my page, and like jumping back and forth on the PDF is very, very, very inefficient for me.
Which is so wild because it's so much more efficient for me.
It slows. It takes me 5 times longer to bounce back and forth between pages on a PDF than it does to just flip the paper. It's cripplingly slower. And the other problem, right, is like the answer that I have for this is like when I don't understand the system fully yet, and I need to, I'll go watch like a Let's Play, like an actual play podcast. And their Power Rangers Hyperforce is an actual play of the system, and it's almost impressive. They do fully nothing to help you understand what the fuck is going on with the system. Everything boils down to like, I want to do this. All right, roll a d6. She doesn't explain like, are there not skills in the system?
It's real fucking weird.
Yeah, because it's not like when they're like, I want to do this skill check. She's like, all right, roll a d6. And it's like it feels the way she does it. I'm not a fan of the DM, the GM for Power Rangers Hyperforce.
Also, Essence 20 is owned by Hasbro. That's why it's everyone at Hasbro's thing. So Hasbro's getting you coming and going.
And you give me. I buy the book. If I do get the book, I'll buy it off a third party site. Hasbro won't get a nickel out of me. Not for that.
Okay,
but
go ahead.
No, I'm just so like everything, the way that she runs it, everything's very arbitrary. It feels like she's like, roll a d6 and then I'll decide what that means. Like it doesn't even like combat, the way they do it doesn't feel super defined in the way it's played out, which is fine. But like, if we're rocking on a whole rule set, like one of the people in our Power Rangers game, hardcore rules guy. He's rules. So I need to know the game before I run it, so that when he's like, but the rules say, I can have a fucking comeback. And that's kind of like what's holding me up with Power Rangers. Suikoden, I understand that system. I need to get the book back out and brush back up on it, but that'll take me an hour.
Okay, so with the Essence 20 system, the core mechanic for resolving a roll is to roll a d20 along with your skill roll. And the skill die ranges from a d2 to another d20. The results of the d20 and skill die must add up to, meet what in D&D we would call the DC.
Cool. So they don't do that at all in Hyperforce.
That's because Hyperforce is older than the Essence 20 game.
Okay, because there's a lot of stuff in Hyperforce that just with the Essence 20 game did not make sense.
Yeah. And if you have a specialization in the skill that's being tested, you get to roll your skill die and every dice below it. I pick the highest score to add to your d20. What's more, any skill dice, if you roll the max value on it, is a critical success. So if you have a specialty and you roll, you have every dice that you have under whatever the score is has a chance to get a critical.
Right. So here's my issue with the way that criticals work. Because I'll probably homebrew criticals because I don't like how they work in the flat Essence 20 system. My problem is that like the more that you train a skill, the less likely you are to crit. Right? Because so let's say I boost up a skill, like I'm a big bruiser and I have like martial arts, but it's not super trained. I have like a D2 to add on to my D20 roll. If I roll a nat 20 and then a 2 on the D2, that's a critical hit.
That's 2 critical hits. The nat 20 on its own makes it a critical hit.
That's not the way it's explained in the Power Rangers book. It says you have to roll
if you roll a max value on any skill die.
In the Power Rangers book, it says on both. That's my issue with it. So it has to be both in Power Rangers, from what I've read. And the problem with that is that so I roll the nat 20 on my D20, and then I roll my skill die. My skill die is a D2. I've got a 50-50 shot of critting. If my skill is a D12 because I put more time into it, so it's got I've got more experience in it. Now I can only crit on I don't know what the fucking odds are because I don't math, but significantly less than a 50-50 shot. That's my issue right now with the way it's worded. I may just do crits on a nat 20 flat.
Okay, we can. Oh, we're not gonna discuss things on here, but at that point we may as well just play D&D with Power Rangers theme. We're changing a key rule, but
I mean, it's a ultimately small thing, and it makes it more fair for people who build their stuff. Like if you want to keep it unfair, I guess, for people who have invested into a skill, cool, I guess. But why would I invest beyond a D2 if it's going to lower my chance to do double damage? It doesn't make sense.
Bear with me. I'm actually going in here. Okay, this is from Renegade Game Studios from their FAQ for the Power Rangers role-playing game. Anytime you make a successful skill test, whether in combat or just performing a regular skill, if any of your skill dice, except for a D2, share the highest number for that dice, the roll is a critical success. D20 does not count as a skill die, but rolling a 20 will often mean the skill test is successful, which is the most important part. A critical success is an attack roll, will most often result in doubling the attack's effect, but some weapons have alternate critical effects. So D2 cannot crit.
Okay, but a D4 can. So why would I invest beyond a D4 if I have a higher chance of critting on a D4 instead of a D12?
Investing skills doesn't let you crit in battle.
No, so it does based on how you're fighting in battle. Like if you invest into your martial arts skill, that raises the die pool that raises the size of the die that you use for the skill checks in martial arts. So if you're attacking with martial arts, you use your D20 and then the skill die as well to determine the effect of the outcome. So if my skill die in martial arts is a D4 versus a D12, I have a better chance to have double of whatever I'm trying to do, whatever the skill is. If I invest in that beyond a D4, it lowers my opportunity to have double the impact. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my issue with the way crits work. The better you are, the worse you ultimately become.
No.
Okay.
You have a higher chance. You have a higher chance of success, because otherwise, if you don't roll that 4, and say you needed like an 8, well, say you needed a 6, so you could have done a D8, but you have a 4 in that. If you don't roll that 4, you're not getting enough to help.
It still comes across as like the more I invest in a skill, the less likely I am to be extremely good at it. Like I can get a regular success, sure, but like the opportunity to, like if the way it was worded is like there was a 25% chance across any of the die, cool, no issues. But like with the D4, I have a 25% chance to just succeed double as well as I was trying to go. With the D12, it's a 1 in 12 instead of a 1 in 4. I don't know how that simplifies out because math. So it feels like your chances of being extremely skilled at a thing reduce the more you're just kind of skilled at a thing.
Unless you take specialization, which you can take specialization in any skill you possess at a level higher than the D12, just by spending a skill ring. And then you roll all of the dice that are below that, and each of them counts as a crit if they crit.
Right. Now that bypasses the issue, but you're investing like a whole bunch of time and points into that at that point. Because you have to go up to the D12 and then one more beyond it to get specialization.
D2 level, higher than the D2 level. So as long as you have more than a D2, you're good. Which is a coin, but look, they chose to call it a D2. I'm gonna throw that coin at the table and hope it rolls.
That's fair. Yeah, like most of it is fine. I just don't think criticals were thought out real well.
What I want to know is I want to have a mega form. I want to Jason David Frank that shit when he said, "Nah, fuck this. I'm just fighting it as a giant me."
I mean, that happened twice.
Yeah.
And once he was evil.
It's weird that it happened twice.
It is weird that it happened twice. What's real weird is the second time it happened, no one remembers. Because everyone remembers when he went into Giant Green Ranger and waxed the Megazord. Everyone remembers that. It was agreed with evil. It was fucking fantastic. Nobody remembers that there was like a point in Zeo when all of the Zeo Rangers also got supersized and just went in there and waxed up all the bad guys just outside of Megazords. But I'm excited to get that rolling. It's just a matter of getting a physical copy of the book. I'll probably go to Amazon or eBay or whatever and get one once I start making money again, which is in very short order, so that's good. And we do need to find one more person for Suikoden, really, so that we have at least a little bit of table variety. And I would love to post that up on here as bonus episodes as well. But I okay.
No, because I'm just not comfortable enough running it yet to be putting it up.
I mean, you're more comfortable with the Suikoden system than I am with Power Rangers, but I'm still putting it up.
Because you thrive in the limelight, baby.
But who knows more celebrities?
I know them, but I don't thrive in the limelight.
Mm-hmm.
I hide from the limelight.
No, you don't.
I'm a kingmaker, not a king.
You're not. You know how you hide from the limelight. Which one of us is in a video game? Take your time. I'll wait.
You.
Am I?
That would be what?
Huh?
You. Am I? Yes, I put you in what?
That is patently not true.
Love the concept that for a moment you existed in a world where I
no.
into a game.
No, that wasn't confusion. That was rapid sarcasm.
Okay.
That wasn't wait what? That was no the fuck I'm not. No the fuck I wish I was. I wish I was with everything.
You wish you was a little bit taller. You wish you was a baller.
I do somehow wish I was taller, if we're gonna be 100% honest.
He's wild like that, people.
I'm supposed to be over 7 feet tall, and I don't like that I'm not.
Why are you supposed to be over 7 feet tall?
I have scoliosis.
Oh.
My back is shaped like a Kryptonian hope symbol.
I know you're exaggerating, but that was a horrifying thing I had for a moment there.
It's not as much of an exaggeration as I want it to be, but maybe slightly. But last time I got my back x-rayed, it does make like an S shape. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Level Grinding. We will be back next week. I don't know what topics we'll bring up by then. I'm sure we'll come up with something. before then for sure. But until then, absolutely listen to us. Check us out, share us around, give us a 5-star review if you can. If you can't, just give us a listen. Every little bit helps. If you want to help beyond that, you can check us out at patreon.com/levelgrindingpodcast. Set up on there. We're blessed to receive even your listens. Any dollar that you would want to send to us, we would absolutely appreciate. And if you don't, that's fine. We'll still be back next week either way. Before we go though, I do want to do a special shout out to April. Of all the people that I talk to about this podcast on a day-to-day basis, she's probably the only one who actively asks me, like, when's the next episode coming out? What are you guys talking about? Checks in with me every day about the show. So just an extra little shout out to April. Your love of the show is very appreciated. We absolutely adore it. Do you have anybody?
Kyle Smith, the same
Kyle
thing.
Smith, absolutely. I love that guy. Shotgun sneezing man himself. I love you, buddy. You're fantastic. Get those allergies checked out, man. That can't be helped.
He not only asks when we're going to have one up and asks what we're doing, but he goes around and listens to them on various devices in the house.
Yeah, he listens to us all over the place. His wife has got to hate my voice at this point. But we absolutely love anybody who listens to the show. We love you. These are just two people that we know listen on a regular basis, talk to us about the show on a regular basis. That being said, as usual, just take care of yourselves. Everybody live happy, live safe, stock up on potions, and you make sure keep on grinding.